Hey guys, if you're studying to become an AZ license, look no further. My job is to help you get the AZ license. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know step by step. I'm going to go over each chapter in the book that you're probably studying in your classroom right now, which is about 37 chapters, 700 and something pages, over 700 pages, crazy. And I'm going to go over each chapter with you. So the first chapter is chapter 1, the introduction to trucking. So I've read the chapter 1, and I'm just going to summarize it for you. You just sit back and listen and try to retain all the information. All right. First and foremost, guys, be proud of the industry that you've chosen to get into. Let's start. In 1606, Samuel de Champlain built the first road in Nova Scotia, Canada. This stretched roughly 16 kilometers in length. In 1850s, railways started linking communities together. This was the main transportation tools back then. In 1886, Germany introduced its first commercial truck. The early 1900s, how truck drivers used to get their or studied to become truck drivers is they would go to the factories and they would see how to operate these vehicles when it's being built. As a professional driver, you're to be, you're standing on the shoulders of pioneers who have faced a lot of untold stories and challenges in the earlier trucking industry. The truckers back then, they used orange crates to sit on and to drive those earlier model trucks. Professional drivers provide the momentum behind North America's economy. The slogan of the Canadian Trucking Alliance emphasizes the importance of trucking in Canada. It goes, if you have it, a truck brought it. Again, if you have it, a truck brought it. Okay, guys, try and picture this. The entire North American continent depends on professional drivers daily. This industry is the most significant contributor to North America's growth and prosperity. Everything that we eat, everything that we wear, everything that we use is transported by a truck. On this journey that you're embarking on as a professional driver, you're not only changing your life, but you're making a difference for the country and all the citizens and its future. Right now, approximately 16 million truck drivers operate within Canada and the United States. 1 in every 9 professional driver is an independent owner-operator. 1 in every 9, guys. The Canadian trucking industry is a $55 billion industry made up of more than 671,000 trucks registered throughout Canada. According to the 2001 census, 300,000 Canadians employed as a driver represented 1.7% of the total workforce in Canada. The North American trucking industry employs over 9 million people. There are over 3.39 million truck drivers working in the US. In 2008, the American Transportation Research Institute hauled nearly 54% of goods between Canada and the United States, and over 63% between the United States and Mexico. Trucks in the United States, they carried 68% of all freights, which is approximately 10.2 billion tons. Back in 2007, commercial Class A trucks reported 128.4 billion miles. So in Canada, we use kilometers, so that would be roughly 206.6 kilometers. Sorry, billion kilometers over the year. And I also mentioned a Class 8 truck. What a Class 8 truck is, that is a truck weighing over 33,001 pounds, or tractor trailer, guys. The average daily run for someone doing long haul in North America is roughly 500 miles, which again in kilometers, that is roughly 805 kilometers. And yearly, that would be 100 to 110,000 miles. Okay, so let's get into some of the history of trucking. Horses used to be the means of transporting people and their cargo from one destination to the next. In 1912, it's reported that there were 25 million working horses in the United States. The horses back then would pull carriages and wagons. There was two brothers, Charles and Frank. They rolled out the first gasoline powered vehicle in the United States. It was built from a second-hand carriage and a one-cylinder engine. In the early 1900s, Detroit resident Max Grabowski started working on building trucks. When this happened, he decided to change his company name to the Rapid Vehicle Company, which later became a part of General Motors, guys. It wasn't until after World War I when the trucking industry became its own industry. When horses were only able to travel 20 miles in kilometers, that is 32 kilometers in a day, a truck would go 80 miles, which is 129 kilometers in a day. The new industry ensured that fresh products were being distributed throughout the country, fresh meat, fresh seafood, etc. Like, you know, even back then, the earliest trucks, they would triple or quadruple the delivery speed of a horse. Trucks back then, they ran on hard rubber tires, and the driver's comfort weren't even considered back then, guys. Motor cranks backlash and would break a lot of our truck drivers' arms back then. As time went on, pneumatic tires, they surpassed the rubber tires, giving the drivers a more cushioned ride. In 1925, there were around 3 million trucks traveling on the North American highways and bypasses. Let's take a historical look at the earlier trucking transportation history. In 1923, new roads were being built. These roads were also generating new taxes. 25 states now were charging a gasoline tax. In 1927, trucks started using power brakes, mainly for the safety of the drivers and everyone else that's using the roadways, guys. A trend began, which was called door-to-door delivery in 1929, which essentially replaced the wagons in many of the cities. In the 1930s, refrigerated trailers were introduced at that time. In 1932, the Federal Motor Carrier Act gave the Interstate Commerce Commission, which is the ICC, authority over all trucks and buses that uses the highway. Also, the same year was when the American Association of State Highway Officials implemented a recommendation about the vehicle weight and size. In 1933 was when 3 states wanted to legislation to prohibit trucks on their highway. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Also, that year was when the American Highway Freight Association and the Federal Truck Association, they merged into one, which became the American Trucking Association. In 1935, there was a demand for diesel repairman. What was once tax-free was now being taxed in 33 states. In 1937, safety was the forefront of the trucking industry. All trucks were being required to have two method of brakes on their vehicle, in their trucks. Drivers were being required to travel with tire chains, with fire extinguisher, red flags, flares. Some other stuff they had that were requirements were windshield wipers, reflectors, attached fuel tanks were some other requirements that was implemented at that time. In 1938, a cab over model truck was introduced. The design of this truck reduced the truck length, which shortened the wheelbase, which made it easier for truckers to drive their vehicle. Just a heads up, guys, the shorter the wheelbase, it limits the weight that a truck can carry. In 1939, World War II began, guys. During this time, women were given more opportunities in this area, and they were able to drive buses and light delivery vehicles. Anyone transporting cargo interstate, meaning from one province to another or from state to state, guys, required authority from the DOT, which is the Department of Transportation. The carrier must file the rate it charges to haul. However, contract and private carriers do not have to file rate, guys. The truck industry is regulated by city, state, federal laws and codes and regulations. As a professional driver, you are expected to be up to date with all these laws and these codes. The Motor Carrier Act of 1935 gave the federal government Interstate Commission the authority to regulate motor carriers, which is the ICC. The ICC, they believe that tight control over the motor carriers were necessary to maintain a stability in the industry. The Commercial Motor Vehicle Safety Act in 1986, it was created to ensure qualified drivers were operating these vehicles. In 1992, all commercial motor drivers were required to have CDL, which is a commercial driver's license. The state were required to give a knowledge and skills test, each state. Drivers must notify their employer right away if their CDL becomes suspended or revoked or canceled. Does anyone know the name of a device connecting the tractor and the trailer together? So what device connects the tractor and the trailer together? If you answer the fifth wheel, you got it right, guys. Canadian carriers are now required to meet the 16 operational standard established under the National Safety Code introduced in 1987, guys. A driver can only have one driver's license at a time. Drivers are required to take both a verbal and written test. The test requirements is the same all across Canada, guys. So it classifies the driver's license based on the vehicle weight and size. Specific training for commercial license, drivers must meet the medical standard. The NSC collects information on the companies and the drivers. A member of the law can issue a short-term suspension, guys, just so you guys are fully aware. Cargo loads should be secured properly when transporting cargo. Commercial vehicle maintenance and inspection standard. The Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance specifies levels of severity of inspection that can be performed. Trip inspection, safety rating, facility audits, and first aid training. Let's get into some terms and their definition. Straight truck, guys. Okay, if you know, straight trucks are a single unit vehicle with engine, cab, and cargo compartment on one frame. Economists had projected that by 2020, we're now in 2024, more trucks carrying more tons of freight combined with our growing cross-border trade will put a strain on the U.S. highway. A holder of a commercial driver's license can be disqualified from professional driving for conviction of a serious offense involving a vehicle that is not a CMV that results in the license suspension or conviction of a felony. Driving experience is a formal education environment such as a driving range permits drivers to identify hazardous and how to respond to hazardous situations. Canada's National Safety Code was designed and developed by the Canadian Council of Motor Transportation Advisor. For carriers and drivers originating in either Mexico or Canada, when they cross into the United States, they should have a commercial driver's license. Cross-border trucking in North America swung into high gear with North America Free Trade Agreement. The term professional driver has gained popularity in the truck industry was because more education and skills were needed. There is a 1-year disqualification on offense for driving commercial motor vehicle with a revoked, suspended, or canceled commercial driver's license. Lifetime disqualification for multiple offensive violators or convictions. The purpose of the Motor Carrier Safety Improvement Act of 1999 was to establish a federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, which is the FMCSA, which was actually accomplished on January the 1st of 2000 and was set up as a separate administration within the U.S. Department of Transportation. The primary role for this was to focus on reducing accidents and injuries and fatalities involving large trucks and buses. The Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, PHMSA, regulates and classifies hazardous material. It sets the standard for shipping containers, shipping documents, markings, labeling, and placarding. The trailer is a vehicle built for transporting cargo. Coupling, some more terminologies, guys. What is coupling? Coupling means connecting the tractor and the trailer using a fifth wheel. There's a locking jaw in the center of the fifth wheel, which the trailer kingpin fits in perfectly. Okay, semi-trailers. Rest on a fifth wheel mounted over the rear axle of the tractor. The front of the trailer is supported by the tractor. However, if you want the trailer to stand on its own, you just release the you just release the landing gear and it will stand independently on its own. The most commonly used rig in North America is the 18-wheeler, which has 5 axles. The semi-trailer has 8 wheels and the tractor has 10 wheels. Rocky Mountain doubles. These are rigs with 2 trailers, guys, consisting of 10 axles. Standard doubles. Okay, standard doubles are rigs consisting of single axle tractor pulling a 28-foot semi-trailer and a 28-foot trailer. As a professional driver, you must be knowledgeable in the laws, rules, and regulation, practice, and procedures. Professional drivers should rank above the others in areas like physical and mental abilities, skills, safety standards, tolerance, and courtesy, efficiency, and knowledge, guys.